everyone. Okay, so before I start this video, I have to apologize for the lighting because the sun's about to go down, but it's my birthday, so I think I have an excuse. Also, thank you, Jason, for these pants. I love them. I'll put a link somewhere in this video and also in the description of where you can get pants like these. Before I start a video, I usually think about what the title would be so that when I talk, I kind of stay within the topic, you know, because sometimes if I just keep on talking, the stream of consciousness just goes everywhere. So I might start a video talking about this, but end up talking about something completely different. So I usually think of a title first. So the topic of this video is something along the lines of don't make your fear your weakness and instead make it your strength, because I want to talk about how I realize how my biggest fear is the reason I am here today. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm in a really good spot in life. I'm doing really well, and how that has helped me get to where I am. So for those who don't know, my biggest fear in life is losing my memory and forgetting things. So that is a basic example of what my biggest fear is, but this is how it has changed my life, okay? So because I'm afraid of losing things, I back everything up, all my files, I back them up like crazy. Even shit I don't need, okay? I am a hoarder. I'm an absolute terrible hoarder. I collect plastic knives. I used to collect eyelashes. When I am almost done with like a bottle of perfume or like some type of beauty ingredient thing, I will leave a tiny bit left and I'll put it in a small bottle, and sometimes I will open them and I'll smell them and it'll bring back, like, it'll make me nostalgic, right? So I save all these things that could trigger my memories. I have so many memory boxes, like scrapbooks and all that stuff. I find it very difficult to throw away things, and because of this fear, for example, I can't throw away a lot of my clothes, so I try to sell them, which is good, but some items, like some bits of clothing, you just can't sell, you know, because it's just been overworn too many times. But I don't want to throw them away, and I don't want to give them away because I have had so many good memories in this shirt. This is how I think, right? So I cut them into tons of fucking strips, right? And then I'm braiding it into a spiral rug, which I'm still working on that video. And that says to me that the fabric is still useful. You're making something new, but the memories are still in it, if that makes any sense, you know? So I have boxers from all my exes, or like shirts that they have, and I will never let go of them. I have all my old uniform, like everything that I can collect, I will collect. When I leave my house, I collect sticks, pebbles, weird stuff I find on the floor. I collect a lot of weird shit, okay? And because I have this fear of losing my memory, but I'm an absolute neat freak, it's hard to get rid of all the things I have, right? My mom has the same thing as me. She's a hoarder exactly like me because she gives sentimental value for little things, you know? So that's why I even have things as little as receipts from guys I've like had like lunch with or something, you know? Because I always feel like I will somehow need it, or I will need it in some way, or I can make use out of it, you know? I'm not the kind of person who likes to just throw away things. I will always try to find something to make use out of, you know? So I remember I was telling this to my friend Jason, and I was just like, and we were like talking, and he was just like, ah. So I told him my biggest fear, and he was like, that's why you make YouTube videos. And I was like, actually, yeah, that could be one of the biggest reasons I make YouTube videos, because I have so many videos on YouTube that are privated, but they're legit collages of photos of when I was like younger and stuff, or like photos from high school. I would put them all in a video, make them like 1 second each, put no music behind it, and then just upload them and then write the month, the date of, like, each video would be 1 month of photos or something. And I have so many of those on my YouTube channel. And then I started, you know, talking publicly, and the clothes that I can sell or give away are clothes that I am wearing in a YouTube video, because I'm like, okay, well, now I'll never need to miss this item of clothing because I wore it in a video once, so if I want to remind myself that I had it at one point, then it's cool, right? The reason why I have this huge fear of trying not to forget is because when I was younger in Australia, when I was from 7.5 to like 9 years old, me and my mom and my brother, we were pretty much homeless. Like, we were in a really rough area, you know, like we were living in cars, like money was tight. Everything was fucking horrible at that time. Like, absolute hell for all three of us. My dad kept on buying us flights to move to him with him in Thailand, because he lived in Thailand. And every time he would send my mom money for those flights, she would use it on something else. Probably something, you know, I don't know. But finally, we got a flight to Thailand, and so I went to see my dad, and that was the first time I started living with him, like properly living with him, and obviously my stepmom. Things that happened in Australia were so traumatic that for some reason, I don't know how I did it, I completely forgot that everything in that year and a half happened. Just pushed it out of my memory. I just chose, I don't know how, but I just forgot that it happened. A year later, or a year and a half later, when I'm about 11 or almost 12, when I'm in Malaysia, we're driving and I see this roundabout, and for some reason it reminded me of a roundabout in Australia. And suddenly it like triggered me, and I had like a memory from that time, that year and a half, and I was so shocked at the fact that I remembered something like that happen, or something so significant to me happen. And then I was so shocked at the fact that I chose, like, that I forgot it. I was so confused. I can't even explain the way I felt, but I was so triggered, and it was like every time I had one of these like nostalgic flashbacks, I would beat myself down so much. I'd be like, why did I forget this? This is crazy. Like, why am I forgetting all this shit? And like, obviously I'm like 11, 12, so I have like no idea like what is going on in my brain, right? And so I kept having like triggers within like a month's space, and they kept reminding me of the time in Australia that I chose to forget. And so like I was just being so hard on myself, and those were the months I started self-harming, and those were the triggers that I had that made me self-harm. So that is another reason why my fear has kind of controlled my life in a way, you know? So it was like such a confusing like time. And then I realized like on my side account on Instagram, I post photos a lot, and then I delete them off my laptop to make my laptop have more space. And that's me saying, all right, the photo is up somewhere on the internet. So many people or nobody could have that photo. But if I ever come across it by looking back through my account, then that is what will trigger me to that memory. So I keep planning myself triggers in a way, so I remind myself, you know? I know it's such a weird thing to say. Like, I can't imagine what anyone else's biggest fear would be, because I can only understand my own, you know? So the reason why I'm saying you shouldn't take your fear as a weakness, and instead take it as a strength, because every time you're triggered by that fear or something, you're becoming stronger and stronger to, like, even with just like coping and dealing and everything. And like, if I didn't have that fear, I wouldn't be as unique as I am. And I think we're unique to what our biggest fears are, you know? Like our true biggest fears can also make us so unique, because I wouldn't have started a YouTube channel if I didn't have this fear, you know? I wouldn't have even had a voice to tell people about, you know, mental illness and stuff, because this is the fear that drove me into, you know, depression or whatever, and then starting to self-harm because of it. I've been doing so much better because I realized that my fear can be used as a strength. It could also be a way to drive you, to motivate you as well, you know? I remember one time my mom, she wasn't feeling too good, she wasn't liking work, and she messaged me, and she was just like, I'm gonna work until I die. I'm gonna work until the day I die. One big fear I have is the people I love dying. So I'm like, no fucking way. So every time when I wake up in the morning and I feel like I'm not motivated, I think about what my mom said, and she's like, I'm gonna work until the day I die. And I say, no, you're fucking not, because I'm gonna take care of you, and then this is all gonna be okay. So like, if you have a fear of your loved ones dying, something about the love you have for your siblings or like for your family can be what motivates you to do good in life, you know? I don't know exactly where this video is going, but I'm just like rambling, waiting for my friend to come pick me up for my birthday. Hi, sunflowers. Okay, so I completely forgot to add this in this video, but I wanted to mention my progress in dealing with this fear better, and I received 6 huge boxes from Taiwan from my parents. So everything in those boxes are things that I thought I needed in Australia. So my parents, packed them up and they sent them here, 6 boxes, right? I received those about a month ago. I have not even opened them. And the reason I haven't is because it gave me the realization that I have survived almost a year in Australia without the things I thought I needed a year ago. So everything in those boxes are things that I thought I needed a year ago. I've survived a year without them. Is there even a point in me opening them? But I actually might even open them in a video, and I think the majority of the stuff I get there, I might even just like donate it to like Good Sammy's or something, or I might even just sell, or maybe some of the stuff will be good enough for a giveaway. So that's just like me showing you my progress and my realization that I am slowly overcoming this fear and using it as an advantage instead of as a disadvantage. So I hope everyone has a really good day. I'm sorry this video was just such a ramble. I just kind of like, I'm all over the place, and because I was just on You Now, I don't know if I've repeated myself or not because I've already said a lot of the things like on You Now before I even made this video, but I hope everyone has a really good day. I hope everyone's safe. And my question for you guys, and I'll be reading all these comments, what is your biggest fear, and what great has happened to you because of that fear? Like, it doesn't have to be like a direct thing. It can be like, well, this big fear I have has made me or has turned me into this type person, but because I'm this type person, I'm able to do this, or I made friends with this, Like, it doesn't have to be direct. I hope you understand what I mean. So what is your biggest fear, and how has this fear changed you in a positive way? Hope everyone has a good day.